It's kind of funny how life ends up. I actually never thought
That's his name. Brad Chan, Senior Manager, Warcraft RTS. He is our go-to guy now.
about ever being a developer. When I was younger, I just wanted to play video games. Back in 2007, I was at a regional qualifier playing a game called Warcraft 3. After I qualified for the tournament, someone came up to me, gave me his card, and was like, hey, we're looking for experienced RTS players to join our design team. Naturally, I said I wasn't interested. I was gonna go to the Nationals, win that, go to the Worlds, win that, easy. Well, it was a good thing I kept that guy's card, because 16 years later, here I am, working on a game that remains so important to me and so many players around the world.
Who is this guy, WCG 2007? I was also wondering that. Do we have a Wikipedia entry for who he is? It's not very important, but it would be kind of interesting to know. So first impression, by the way, I never heard of this guy before. I think he comes across pretty genuine and pretty approachable and likable. I feel like in the corporate world, sometimes when they do these presentations, they seem like robots. They seem like they're reading a script. Sometimes they have like this dead stare, and you feel like they're not even people, at least the way they're presenting themselves. They don't even feel like people. I don't want to be too mean, but for example, where is she? Her. Holly? I'm not trying to say this to be mean, but I feel like she seems distant, to say the very least. Not approachable. Not very genuinely human. Now, I'm basing this off of a, 10-minute video, but I would say this guy at least comes across more relatable.
Throughout my career, I've stuck to a few guidelines.
All right. So I have pretty good first impressions about this guy. We don't know much about him yet. But now he says something interesting.
Around the world. Throughout my career, I've stuck to a few guiding principles. When something is broken, you fix it. When something is wrong, you make it right.
When something is broken, you fix it. When something is wrong, you make it right. So this is obviously, clearly referring to Reforged. Reforged was a piece of garbage, as we all know. When something is broken, you fix it. When something is wrong, you make it right. So they're trying to say, hey, we know it's fucked, but we want to make it better. That's good. They want to do it and they say it. That's good. But what are the actions in the end?
And if things aren't good enough, you make them better.
When things aren't good enough, you make them better. When I first heard this, I'm like, man, I would love it if they just deleted all of the old Warcraft Reforged assets. Because as he said, when something is broken, you fix it. Now, I guess his philosophy and the team's was, well, we're going to make the Reforged things better, the graphics and so on. My personal opinion is that's the wrong approach. I think the Reforged, the units, the portraits, all the assets, all the models that were made. There's a lot of work. It was very expensive for Blizzard. Must have been many millions. Is that true? Probably. I don't know exactly how much it was, but it must have been lots of money. So it's hard to discard all of that, delete all of that, and do it again all from scratch. In my opinion, though, that's the only way you can really, really fix Reforged. Like I said earlier, if you try to polish the Reforged models we got before, it's not going to work. Because you cannot polish a turd. Warcraft Reforged models, the graphical side, is a big, steaming pile of turd. You can't polish it. You have to delete it and start from scratch, is my opinion. I think this is the big mistake that they're making. They're trying to save Reforged, the Reforged assets and graphics, when they are unsavable.
So without further ado, I'm here to announce patch 2.0 for Warcraft 3 Reforged. Available now, this patch overhauls the environments and lighting and revamps the user interface. In addition, we are up-resing all classic Warcraft 3 assets.
All right, this was the next big question. I didn't expect this. This was a surprise to me. They're up-resing Warcraft classic graphics. That is classic HD. So you can see here.
Revamps the user interface. In addition,
this
we are
is
up-resing all classic.
So this is the
environments and lighting and revamps the user interface. In addition, we are up-resing all classic.
So this is the Orc old base. the Orc, classic Orc base, and this is classic HD. Old?
Like Warcraft 3 asset.
New. Okay, it looks a little sharper. In my opinion, I don't see much of a difference here. But I'm not necessarily against it. I would much prefer it if they completely deleted all that was Reforged at launch. Everything deleted and made a real good new Reforged with actually keeping the artistic style. And now I remember. And this is what I wanted to compare it to. Witty made a good video here. He talked about also the different visual stuff. And he's going to show what Warcraft models in a new engine, newly built, could look like. They did this at the Hive Workshop. This right here. This is Gul'dan, for example. I think this is what Reforged should look like. Not the ugly ass, weird graphics that we got in Reforged. This is what it should look like. And this would need a complete overhaul, a delete of all the old stuff. This Gul'dan looks amazing. There's another example. This Ogre looks amazing. This is what Reforged should look like. Maybe a few more polygons, maybe a little bit more detail, but this aesthetic, the color palette, the cartoonish style, the stylized graphical version, this is Warcraft, not the garbage Reforged. All right, so I'm going to leave this on for a moment because we're going to get comparisons in a second.
Assets to HD. You can now customize the type of assets you want to play with and even mix and match if you like. We have also included a bunch of quality of life changes.
So this is cool, giving players options. They can play with partly Reforged, partly classic HD, whatever. But the fact remains, a turd is a turd. A turd is a turd, stays a turd. And Reforged is a big ass turd.
Such as in-game hotkey customization, a revamped ladder, and much, much more. We hope you enjoy.
Now here, of course, that's what the developers always love to say. There's so much more coming. We have so much more in store. Sometimes true, sometimes a lie. Will it be true? Will it be a lie? We'll see.
Enjoy this update, which will be available to everyone who owns Reforged.
So honestly, they didn't say much. They were like, oh, by the way, we're going to make the Reforged visuals better. We're going to do classic HD.
Now,
and we're going to have better menus and better ladder, basically.
Not just here to talk about Warcraft 3. We're also here celebrating.
All right, and now they talk about Warcraft 2.
Releasing fully remastered versions of Warcraft 2 and 1. So you can experience the story. Masters will be able to swap between the original graphics.
This is cool
and the remastered
for everyone who wants to play
versions.
this again. This looks good. This is Warcraft art style. Colorful, cartoonish, a little over stylized. This is a great remaster.
And you'll be.
This is exactly what we would have loved for Reforged. But the initial Reforged art style, the Reforged direction was just completely off, completely wrong. Yeah. So my big hopes that they would completely scrap old Reforged and do new models. That would have been a lot of work. Would have been very expensive. I guess it's not happening. I guess we are stuck with Reforged. They're going to try to brush off the ugliest bits and try to polish the turd, which I think is a pointless endeavor. Like I said, I think there would have been a possibility for great improvement if they did a complete scrap and did a proper reimagining, a proper HD Reforged version with, for example, stuff like this. This is what Reforged should look like. Thank you, Witty, for providing these examples. Yeah. So, final conclusion is, I think they went in the very wrong direction with the Reforged save attempt. I can understand it though, because scrapping and building up again from zero would be very expensive, would take a long time. I do appreciate that they try to make things better. I hope I can believe his mantra. I hope I can believe when he says that his philosophy is, when something is broken, you fix it. When something is bad, you make it better. Brad Chan, I hope we can trust you. And if that's the truth, and if you guys keep working on it, then I am here for the ride. But this is not enough yet.